Hey everyone! Welcome to another Wildewitch RP live play TTRPG session. What is Wildewitch RP? Well, that's me, Faye, game master and storyteller, and Lachlan, our writer and producer. We
Yo.
are we are a couple who love sharing stories, so much so that we quit our day jobs and created our own company. That way we could create high quality and exciting TTRPG experiences full time and share them with you. And tonight, we're playing D&D. This session features the Burning Veil storyline, set in our very own Velinara campaign setting. It is a deeply personal tale of trust, betrayal, magic, and magnificent ambition, where the fate of the world hangs in the balance. With us at the table are several of the incredible players who have joined us on our grand endeavor. If you'd like to play alongside them, you're more than welcome to join us as well. You can ask in chat or hop over to our Discord to find out more information. Now, speaking of our awesome players, it is time for introductions. Like I said, I'm Faye, Game Master and Storyteller. With me is Sirenscape, who brings all of our background music and sound effects. It's a fantastic and affordable sound collection that you can find at Sirenscape.com. And now, let us meet our courageous, daring heroes before they embark on another exciting, maybe spooky, tale of magic and wonder. And and we'll begin with an introduction for Bracken.
Oh, for me? Hey, everyone. Oh, excuse me, I had a cough. Uh,
Bless
I'm
you.
Thresh, and I play Bracken. Bracken's good at punching things and kicking things and speaking his mind, but he's not good at speaking what needs to be said sometimes. He's really bad at conversation, actually, and he likes to make his party breakfast. On other meals of the day, he likes to make sure everyone's well fed and taken care
Amazing. We love that. Next up for our introductions, why don't we learn about Avi?
Hi, I'm Chelsea, and I play Abby. Abby is a half-elf bard sorcerer. She cares about her friends deeply. She's constantly making music of some kind, and she is also a little spooky. Just a little.
Just a bit. We love that. Next up for our introductions, let's learn about Cecil.
Hello, my name is Brent. I play Cecil Darkholm. He is a stout forest gnome cavalier who's having a rough go of it lately here in Vale Umbra. But he is trying to lean on the strength and faith of his faraway sister. But he still stands ready to support his friends and do whatever he can do to keep them safe.
We love it. Absolutely, we love it. And last but not least, let's learn about Z.
Well, hi. My name is Bo, and I'm playing Z. They are a homebrew artificer class called the Bone Cobbler. Um, they are, once again, just like everything, are spooky through and through. They are seriously in a place of doubt at this moment. Hopefully all of their questions and all of their doubts will be answered and, I guess, calmed. But yeah, they're excited to be here.
I really just, anytime Z brings up having these doubts and wanting answers, I always think of the, what's it called? The Miss Frizzle with the magic school bus.
Yes.
With the frizz, never! Um, off tangent start, but, let's dive back into our story now that our introductions are done. And why don't we begin with a bit of a recap? You had found yourselves in the company of a strange cypress brig known as Nima the Enigma, a ambassador of sorts for the Watchers of the Witchmark. And Nema had alerted you that you were requested for an audience with the Watchers. And had begun to lead you to the Witchmuck Cavern, where you were to meet with the Watchers. It's been a grueling few days. There were some close calls and many areas of tension. But you've made it to the Witchmuck Cavern. And you watched a sunken ship sail across the waters of an underground lake. And some of you even spotted what looks to be an island in the distance, glowing with strange lights through the fog. So, as we settle in to our story once again, the sunken ship has just reached the shore. You heard the thud of impact. What do you do?
Has the ship pulled in on the, like, close to us, or is it?
It's not right next to you, but it is reasonably close.
It's not like it's on the other side of the lake.
No, it is definitely, it seems, come to pick up passengers and, well, you're not seeing anyone else but yourselves.
I'll turn to Nema. Is that for us?
It is. I do not think you have a way to step across.
Oh, it's like a ferry.
Of a sort.
Well, that seems fine. And Avi will walk up to the ship. Start walking that way.
Cecil will kind of shake his head and say, yeah, might as well, and follow Abby.
I'm going to go next. I just walk up to Mima and I give her. It's not like a look of intimidation, it's just a. It's a look that could be recognized as like, this better not be any traps or anything, because then we're gonna have a problem.
I mean, you've seen that it is not a what one would call a sturdy ship. It is obviously a sunken ship, but you also saw that it floated on the water. So however Z would rationale that.
Yeah, I definitely think they would be more on the side of keeping their guard up.
Natriana is cautious as she approaches the ship, mainly because, as you all see, it is broken. There are cracks and holes that are in the side of the ship, and she just seems a little wary of it being able to float. It's not so much that she's cautious, but, like, you know, no, she doesn't even stop. She'll walk up to where it's kind of beached and, like, start sticking her hand into the holes to see if it's actually, like, real holes.
Be careful there, friend, and get a splinter.
Splinter, I could step through all of this. Look, I know what they say about having faith and that it can take you places, but I don't know about putting faith into a sunk ship.
Just watch your step there, my friend. And I will, like, kind of pat her on the shoulder.
Araxibus boards the boat with as much grace as one could. She does most everything. Bracken, I'm sure you would follow along with your
Yes,
companions.
Bracken's following along if we're all bored.
Yeah. The last to board is Nima, and as she moves, it's almost as if her creaking creaks alongside that of the ship. Both wood, old, and definitely standing the tests of time. There is, of course, the crew, who watch each of you as you enter along, keeping your eyes, and you can tell, like most everyone else, that you've met in Vale Umbra, these are undead. Though they seem a bit more waterlogged. Perhaps they've drowned at sea or some other watery death. But they all catch and greet Nima with a familiarity. And then, as you all sort of stand on the deck, you hear the thud of footsteps. And you watch as a tall and lean undead half-elf wearing these patchwork and sea-soaked sailor's clothes, rugged, and one main piece that you would notice is this captain's coat. There is a gray color to his eyes as he steps down. Perhaps they may have been a bright blue at one point in life, but have become faded in death and unlife. Well, allow me to be the first to welcome you to the Dark Mist Drifter.
Well, thank you.
Good to be here.
Quite the vessel you have here.
But it seems like it's seen better days. But it's nice.
Very
She-
impressive.
We call ships she, right?
It is the customary, yes. I am Captain Ashfall. I am bound to the service of Dark Mist.
So you're permanently bound to it? Interesting.
It is not so interesting after the first few years. As the captain looks around the cavern and it begins to hit you. As large as this is on entrance. It is massive as some sort of cavern, almost a world of its own, potentially. Only being bound to these waters, especially for a sailor, might become restless.
I feel like this is gonna be a weird question, but how long have you been bound to this?
There is a far-off look that overcomes the captain's face. Go ahead, roll for me a insight check.
Alright.
Oh no,
Let's go! Let's go!
Hold on, my game log wasn't pulling. Okay. There we go. So, what you'd be able to tell Avi and Z if this figure is having to think about it in such a way, it is very, very long. And given the nature of undeath, could even be in the realm of centuries rather than decades.
Well, however long it has been, I am pretty confident that you know these waters better than anybody, so I feel pretty safe. I don't know about y'all.
Yes, a few holes in a ship shouldn't be of any concern to an expert seaman.
And obviously, got her face like, yeah, it's fine.
I also shoot back a look of, it's totally fine.
Especially one that floats above the water.
So, your group then are able to get settled. And there are areas on deck where you can brace yourself, either with a standing position or seated. The crew mainly move around you. Well, Nima takes another, it seems, a position of comfort as she crouches, folding in her long limbs, and watches once again. And as Captain Ashfall takes the wheel in hand, and the ship gives a grinding sort of departure. You can feel as it moves across the ground, and it's almost as if you're hitting a reef of some sort. You swear you can hear water sloshing into the empty holes. And anyone looking over at Matriana can see where she clutches at the banister.
A bit seasick there, my friend.
not quite seasick. I'm very invested in living, and I'm trying to keep faith here, but whew. She'll lean in. I don't think anyone else here besides us is as worried about, you know, potentially life-threatening situations.
Well, with
I
us, a life-threatening
understand.
situation's a Tuesday. Or
Exactly, Bracken.
I guess a Tuesday would work. Because it's a tens day on a 10-day. Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying that we're not always in life-threatening situations. I've been in at least 3 since traveling with you folk.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean, look, I've got a mission. You guys know I can't do that while I'm dead. Even if I come back and be kind of like handling that instead of doing what needs to be done. You hear as your ship takes to the waters a mournful song filling the air. It is a sailor's ballad, a work song almost, as this crisp voice, haunting, unearthly, starts it. But even more haunting, you hear, and it comes to almost a call and response. The whole ship respond as if this is normal. Typical.
I call out to the captain. Is that normal?
You would notice then, as you turn to the captain, that Captain Ashval is the voice leading the song. And he doesn't seem to break in the middle of this ballad to answer your question, but his eyes do find yours, and make me a wisdom save.
Everybody?
Oh, Z.
Oh, lovely.
Z. It was only Z.
Oh,
Bracken.
my bad.
See, as the song fills the air, and as you see these mournful gray eyes, you two are overcome with a melancholy. What is a tragedy that has befallen you that would come to mind in this moment?
Alright, traumatized lore dump. Here we go. I would say that even though, especially after the situation with the almost out of worldly experience with the orphanage, I think that they have kind of grown in their understanding of themselves, and I think that immediately again it just is their friend and their friend and their love, which they never got to confess to, and their mentor, who was almost like a father to them. and sort of the befalling of their very much like father figure, who died in a accident, which is another reason why they started doing what they are doing.
So, as these thoughts come through your mind, the song continues and it reaches again that call and response, and as Ashval's voice calls out, Z, you don't know this song, but your mouth knows the words, it seems, as you find yourself singing along with the rest of the crew in this mournful song. It's just for that single verse. And everyone would have noticed that Z sang along.
See, you know this song.
I just keep singing and I look at Avi.
Well, it's not a full, like,
just a
yeah.
singular.
It was a
Okay,
single
gotcha.
line, and you would have noticed that with the rest of the crew as well. Like, they only give that response, and then it goes back to Ashval.
Okay. I look at Avi. I don't know why. I don't even. They just keep stuttering. They don't know how to respond. They don't know what took over them in that situation for that to happen.
It's all right. It's fine. They'll kind of put a hand on their shoulder. Music can have that effect on people sometimes. I wouldn't question it.
Thank you. But also, make sure you don't look at him, because you might suffer that as well.
Who, the captain?
Yes.
Or the
I-
one that sing a song you don't know?
I don't find that to be suffering. I'm always singing.
I just don't understand how so much has befallen us, and yet you can just continue to sing. The world is just such a shitty place.
Yeah, it is. Position I'm in now is it's where I'm supposed to be. Everything I've done, everything we've done, has led to this point. So whatever comes after, it's supposed to happen. And yeah, sometimes it's shitty. But
I
it's
just-
for a reason.
Yes, I just hope that we can all. I guess I could experience a better side of life than I've had in my lifetime. Once
I
this
think-
is all over.
I think that's true for all of us.
Again is traveling over this lake, and let's get a perception check here from everybody.
Perception check.
Perception.
Wow.
Perceive. Eh,
Nah, I'm lost in the tunes.
Yeah, Bracken is too, I guess.
Kraken jamming a bit.
Throwing it back. Let's go.
It's
Starting
like,
to pick up on the call and response.
yeah, easily enough. Yeah, no, Bracken, I feel like it's the goth ravers to the Mariah Carey, because it's like the vibes, two different, but
Kraken's got like a shoe tap going.
yeah, yeah, this is like, um, this is like the a sailor's grave kind of, like don't bury my body, type feels. It's very mournful, very somber, and Bracken's just out here doing like a little Carlton.
Yeah.
That's just what came to my mind.
Fair.
But yeah, no, so Z and Cecil, you saw it a bit on the shores, but now you just move over the... It's strange, even as this sunken ship sails over the water, it stays smooth, as if you're gliding over a reflection. You can feel the sway of the ship, but the waters don't reflect it. You cut through this thick mist, and again, what you spot, Z and Cecil, is that island. The glimmering lights that raise upward and shimmer, filling the fog and the rest of this cavern, which even on the waters seems vast. You can hardly imagine an end to them. You know there must be, as you are still underground. And eventually, Ashfall's voice grows silent. The song ends. You are drawing ever closer to that island. Starting to see the shores vaguely through the mist and fog. All of you now would be able to see the outline of the landmass. The lights that gleam and glimmer.
There it is.
I figured that's where we were heading.
The Isle of Witchmark. You hear from Nima, who has been silent until this point of the trip.
And that's where we're meeting the Watchers.
It is their domain. Your journeys should lead you to them. But you will have to travel the stones and the stars to know if meeting is truly foretold.
I'm sorry, I was under the impression that they were expecting us.
They are.
Okay, so, but we still need to, like, make sure that they're expecting us?
No. You have to make the way there. If you cannot, well, the meeting would never happen.
Sure, but are you not coming with us to guide us?
I have guided you here.
Okay.
As your... Go ahead.
Oh, no, 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 I'm done.
As your ship is growing closer and closer, as you are approaching ever more the Isle of Witchmuck, you see that this mist clings to it almost, barely allowing you to glimpse its visage in the mist, and even upon the reflecting waters, it hardly shows as anything more than shadow. Can I get perception checks once more? These will be based on hearing if that affects anyone.
Perceive.
So, Avi and Bracken would hear this clearly. Z and Cecil sort of just have this sensation of feeling off. It's strange. Something is... It's not quite right. But Avi and Bracken hear a similar soft and haunting melody to what was sung on your travel over. But it's a little bit more wispy, as if it's not quite on the same realm of existence. As if this song is whispered by spirits lingering still. Soon your ship hits the ground with that same grinding as it hits the beach, and then a thud as it comes to a stop. And Ashval looks to you. They await you. The only ones that are kept waiting are yourselves.
Well, thank you for bringing us over.
It is my duty.
Is this, is this a two-way trip? You gonna take us back when we're done?
If you return, only the dark mist drifter sails these waters.
Well, I guess that's a yes.
Well, then I hope to see you soon. And I'm gonna start making my way off of this ship. Because, oof.
I take like a small bow and I follow.
Cecil will work his way down.
Reckon you joining your friends?
Of course.
And of course, your Axbis and Natriana join you as well. And as your group stands on these new shores, and you see the different moss, some hanging in the trees, some growing along the stones, the mist that clings to them, and well, there's still no, it seems, source of the strange lights, but it is lit enough here. I am going to ask for history checks.
Yes. Chance. What about first?
Weren't you the one that made, like, the Her Story?
I still have it on miss.
I love it. Bracken?
Yeah.
Nothing comes to your mind as you're traveling this area. At least nothing
Yeah, that makes
of,
sense.
at least nothing of any sort of relevance to what you're seeing. You're like thinking of all the things back home, like Terry. Well, Terry's at the Raven Manor, but Ravenmere. But you know, like things that aren't immediately in front of you.
Yeah.
Cecil, your thoughts also seem to take you far away. What's going on through your mind as you're seeing this moss-covered stone?
Pretty uncomfortable, pretty out of his preferred landscape. Hasn't really liked any of this bit, but being underground, and now it's underground, and there's water, and it's just very uncomfortable.
Avi and Z. You recognize the stones to a degree.
Hmm.
They're not just any sort of random rock or boulder. These are ruins. They are ancient by the way that they've been worn down and how the moss grows over them. But they seem to be of some sort of dwarven heritage. And the largest underground dwarven civilization that comes to the mind of Avi and Z. I had to stop myself before I made that blunder. Is the Stone Empire, an ancient civilization that fell long before the modern times.
I've read stories about this.
What sort of stories?
Old stories. Stuff long before us.
Good terrible those stories.
I pull out like a little leather bound journal and I sort of like take notes and I take a few samples of the moss and I kind of draw like the basic things, or like the basic shape of everything. It's it's incredible. Like you said, Avi, I think we may have read very similar stories, or I've at least heard some of them, but I thought they were all myths. These are all real.
Sure, they're real.
Now, what is it that we're looking at here?
This stuff looks like it's from the Stone Empire. Old dwarven cities.
Can I investigate anything for any Dwarvis written language?
Yeah, go ahead, roll for me a investigation check. You find runes, and as you're peering at them, you do speak Dwarven, correct?
I do.
Heck yeah. It's strange. Most of the words seem to make sense, but there are a few runes and placements that jumble it, where it's familiar but not quite understandable, as this is an ancient dialect. It's very much at looking like old English writings where they've got the different letters than what we now commonly use. So like you can recognize some of the words somewhat, but how you might pronounce them, not really coming to mind. Oh no, did we lose Brent?
I think so.
Oh
Oh,
no! He looks frozen!
Oh no.
No! Cecil, no!
Cecil, no.
Ah!
Well, it's a fun session. Good night, ever. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no!
No!
Well, let's just imagine what Cecil would say. Carry on, please.
Well, and is anyone else doing anything?
I mean, if he points those runes out and stuff, I definitely would like take note of them so that I could research them at a later date.
Go ahead.
Cecil's back.
We've got him back. Alright. What was the last thing Cecil heard?
Jumbled.
Okay, cool. So, we'll just do a quick recap here. With the 17, you do find the, you do find runes, and because you speak Dwarven, you're able to recognize most of the words, but there are some runes that are unfamiliar to you that are placed between what are almost familiar words that throw off what they could be. You don't know how you might pronounce them or read them. It's very akin to reading Old English, where you've got weird letters thrown in. So you, given enough time, might be able to parse what these say, but you would need time to sit down and maybe some older texts and references. Which, can I get a Can I get a... I'm gonna say... Let me look at something here real quick for what Z is trying to do. Z is trying to do, so if you guys want to roleplay amongst yourselves while I look up something here real quick.
So how's your boat trip?
Well, I mean, it was fun, sad, kind of. I don't know if you noticed. Everybody was sad.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of depressing down here.
Adriana holding on for dear life over there.
Yeah.
That thing was unstable, I'm telling you.
Was it though?
Then don't
It's
step
full of
on it.
holes!
It was fine.
You were totally fine there, friend.
Just stand on safer places.
Have you tried that?
You look, if I'm not wrong, you definitely looked more seasick. Hmm.
Would Cecil share the runes with the other people?
Yeah, I found some ancient Dwarven script, but it's a bit jumbled. It's definitely not the same that the dwarves are using today.
Oh, ye olde dwarf.
Well, that makes sense.
It is old.
It's old. And I don't know if y'all remember, it is a thing with Velda Umbra where things here kind of mirror things from Velda Palace.
Alright.
Maybe this is part of that.
I find these interesting, especially because they are an older form of Dwarvish, you said. I start writing in my notebook. I will research at a later date.
I do have a question here. Do you have proficiency in calligrapher's supplies?
Let me check. Alchemist tools, leatherworkers tools, smiths tools, thieves tools, tinkers tools. Now's the time I wish I took cartographer.
Well, cartographer is map. Calligrapher is words. So
And map is map.
it's going to be a little bit more difficult because you're just not practiced in specific writing styles. You typically just write things in your own script. So I want you to make for me a history check here.
Okay.
Yeah, with a careful eye and sort of dedication to the source, peering at these, you'd be able to get a hold of that. And as soon as you finish the last rune, you all hear an overlap of voices. Welcome, strangers. Let us know you better. And as those strange voices seem to call out to your group, this is where we take our first ad break for the evening. So, stick tight with us while we let the ads run. Ads are a huge way to support us here at Wildewitch RP. They really help us out. You can also make a direct donation to my Ko-fi, link that is on screen. And Ko-fi donations not just support us, but also unlock awesome perks for our entire community. So, stick around with us. We'll be right back. Alrighty, we are back in action, and as we are coming back here, you heard those voices overlapped, welcoming you, and asking to know you better.
They come from any specific direction, or were they just kind of all
Give me a perception check.
around? Okay. Okay. That's an 18.
It sort of fills the area as a voice might do when you are speaking out into a large, either open field or a large room. But it just fills the area. It doesn't seem to come from all around. There is a still central point that Avi, with an 18, you can pick up on. And it seems to come from deeper on the island, further into its ruins, perhaps? Maybe even beyond. Again, you have this thick mist clinging to everything, making it hard to see too much further ahead of you.
I mean, if you're close enough to where you can see Abby, you'd see her kind of looking around and then zero in one direction. Well, I suppose we ought to get this done, huh?
That's what we came here for.
Suppose it would be best.
And then Abby will start moving forward.
Kraken will follow up.
You see Z kind of shudder a little bit and follow Avi as well, behind Bracken.
Okay.
Could we hold hands like a chain so we don't lose anybody?
Just want to hold my hand.
Cecil
For
grabs both
safety.
of Bracken's hands.
For safety.
Hold
right?
on. Let me see if I actually have any rope in my inventory, because I probably do.
I know I
Bracken's
have some.
Not a fan, but he will stick with the team on this.
Is
Sadly,
Bracken
I don't.
is Bracken not a fan of the rope or not a fan of holding hands?
Holding hands. Oh,
Are you saying that as soon as Cecil takes a hold of your hand?
Bracken is scowling. Like he looks like that grumpy cat.
My God.
Cecil, what's your passive insight?
That's a big 12.
Yeah, Bracken's just upset about something. Maybe it's the whole weird voices.
So specifically, the manner of which Cecil is holding Bracken's hand is like little kids do, where they don't interlock their hands.
What are you grabbing on my wrist or something?
No, it's like
No.
the two mitten hold, like where it's all fingers
Yep.
together.
Oh, got it.
You got it.
Okay. Yeah, I see it on stream now.
Yeah, the stream's got a delay.
Fair enough. So I got that on one side, and what do I got on the other?
Avi.
Oh, I thought somebody else moved in.
Oh, it was me. So I'm
Everybody
like,
Oh,
wants to
okay.
hold hands with Bracken. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah,
All of a
everyone's
sudden.
jealous of Terry.
Hand holds for Bracken.
because I was, because I think it was like Avi, Bracken, me, and then Cecil.
Well, then I'm out. I'm out in front. Whose hand am I holding then? Cecil's?
Sure.
Okay.
It's just a weird knot at this point.
Not
We gotta chain. It's for safety.
I just want to go out on a limb and say if we do get in trouble here, I'm going to need free hands.
Natriana will look to Avi. I mean, I can go up front if you want, or I can.
You
take
want to
the-
hold my hand?
Yeah, I don't mind holding your hand.
Okay, fine. We'll come up here to the front and I'll hold your hand.
All right. You go up and take hold of Avi's hand. Your Axibus will be fine taking the back. Which I believe puts that at Z.
Uh-huh.
Shorty's in the middle.
Hell yeah. So,
Shout it.
So
Shawty's standing there.
Shudder.
stop. I heard that almost immediately. Don't derail me like this. Not like this.
Shout it, fire burning on the dance.
Stop it. Stop it.
Whoa.
Stop.
Damn it!
So, you begin the trek following the voices. I'm going to ask everyone again for another perception check. This is again based on hearing, if that's going to affect anyone. Oh.
Wahoo!
Wahoo. Okay. So, no other layered words seem to guide your travels. However, those whispered songs that you heard on the shores when you first disembarked, while they are ever present, some seem to be louder in the directions that you travel, almost guiding you. And with very little else to work off of here, you follow. Eventually, you find yourselves coming to a spiral of runed stones, dwarven script, that ancient text once more etched upon the surfaces.
Can I make any of it out at a glance?
Not at a glance,
Any particular words? Okay.
but if you would like to roll an investigation check.
Never mind.
Oh no. Does anyone want to help Cecil?
I'll give him a hand.
Yeah, I was
Already
about
giving him a hand.
Thanks.
This is why we play D&D.
To make hand holding gags?
Hell yeah.
To make any sort of gag.
Maya.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. So, who was helping Brecken or not Brecken? Cecil. If someone
Bobby
was.
to do it.
My hands are tied at this point.
Yes, I will help Cecil.
All right.
Bracken's a real handful.
Yeah, Terry will tell you. If Cecil would like
Yeah.
to roll a second one and take the higher.
Cool, that's a 7.
You can make out one word. And the word that you make out is cauldron. At least that's like the closest that you can think. Again, there are some runes in there that are a little weird, but it looks like the word cauldron.
And we're just walking through, right?
Well, this is where it seems to have led you.
Alright, while still holding Bracken's hand, I'm gonna like reach up and like gesture towards it with both of our hands. Be like, oh, it says cauldron.
Oh, good job, Cecil.
Thanks.
Yay!
These words are real tricky.
Bracken will limply let his hand follow along. Make no mistake, Bracken is really dead fish in these hand holdings.
Oh my god.
Cecil just thinks he's tired.
You didn't have to agree to it. You could have said no.
Well, then I would have been the odd man out. It would have been the whole thing.
Oh my god.
If anyone else would like to roll an investigation outside of just discerning what the script says, or if you would like to roll a history
sure.
check.
Hell yeah.
Do an investigation.
I'll go history.
Hooray!
That's a 23.
Hell yeah. Z and Avi, as you take a look at the actual stone and the way that it is positioned and how it's been worked, you discern that these are ruins of an old keep and functioned as a sanctum or perhaps a laboratory for rituals for some long lost dwarven civilization. Likely like the Stone Empire.
I'll make sure that's known. I think I would be very enthralled by all of this. It's like, I think this is the first sort of thing that's actually caught Z's interest in terms of more research purposes. I guess to use towards their own things. I think like they'll just be like, "Oh yeah, what Avi said," but they're just like staring into, just staring at some weird moss or some garbage.
Easily done. And as you look over these areas, you would see a doorway that leads into these rooms, into the spiral, into this, as Cecil pointed out, the etchings, this cauldron.
Does it repeat?
In what sense?
Does the word appear in different, does it repeat in different areas as we're walking through? Or moving around?
No.
Oh, okay. Cecil's a little sad that he doesn't recognize anything else.
So you see the doorway. You enter.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, why not?
What could happen?
What could happen, right?
Not like I haven't already died. Almost died down here.
So let me get this, just make sure I have the turn order right here. Avi is leading the pack, holding Cecil's hand, who's
Not
holding
Triana.
Bracken's hand.
It's not Triana, then Avi. Then
Not
Avi.
Triana, then Avi. Got it. Okay, so not Triana, then Avi, then then Cecil, then Bracken, then Z, and then we've
Yeah.
got
Uraxibus.
Uraxibus leading up the back. Okay, cool.
Done.
Cool. Just making sure I had that mentally correct.
Okay. Let's get these sounds.
Got all those schools.
Alright. So, as you are as you travel into the ruins here, and the spiral continues, you have, of course, Sanctum, and there are figures just a bit outside of what you would have been able to see as you entered in. It takes a bit of a walk before you see them. And they are they remind you almost of statues when you first see them. Still. And no evidence of life. You see the first that sort of throws you off is of the three figures. A figure who seems human in appearance. One who seems elven. One who seems a Goliath. It is the Goliath that reveals to you that these are not just mere statues. There's a glimpse of his eyes. Reveal that the color is ever shifting.
I may kind of step forward a little bit. Hello.
The more human-looking figure. Well, hello. There's a melodic current in this speaker's voice. One that could almost soothe someone into sleep lull them into comfort.
Are you all the Watchers?
The Goliath speaks next. That is us.
Okay.
We found you.
The last, the one that seems of an elven nature. As you were supposed to.
That's right. It was foretold, wasn't it?
Her eyes drift, and Avi, it's at this point that you would notice that as it seems that her attention is fading from your group, there is a shifting, colorful aura around her. Faint. It's not something that quite catches your eye immediately. And
Sorry, it wasn't really explained to us what we were meant to do once we've made it here.
well, it would be polite to begin with introductions.
You're so
Oh.
right. I'm so sorry. I'm Avi.
I'm Cecil.
Bracken's gonna make a move to let go of people's hands. Bracken.
Can I get a grapple break check, please?
Unbelievable.
I'm just kidding.
Did fish out of there.
Does Z introduce themselves?
Yeah, sorry, I just realized I was muted like a dum-dum. You see their demeanor kind of straightens up a little bit. I'm Z.
Well, you have you have Natriana introduce herself as well, and your Axbase. Your Axbase, and there is a curiosity that is just beneath her manners. Though Natriana just pushes through things as she typically does. Then it comes to the Watchers. The figure with the melodic voice. I am Efine Telia. And Avi,
Mm-hmm.
can you roll me a history check?
Yeah, let me bring it back.
That's a 17.
Efine Telia. You know that name. Vaguely. You've heard a few of her songs. Her music was comforting. It seemed to understand the troubles of the world and soothe them for a moment.
I think Avi just kind of stands there and stares for a minute with her mouth open.
So, what can we
Well, introductions are still going on.
totally
You have the Goliath.
rack and totally?
The Goliath then, as Avi is a little starstruck here, seems very straight to the point. Funeros. And then drifting back towards the conversation from wherever her eyes traveled, the elven figure. Oh, Safina. You have been brought here because you are of an interest to us.
Avi will kind of shake herself out of whatever that was. Yes, that's what we heard. Maybe you guys can help us.
If you want help, we will ask for help in return. Bargains are not something to be afraid of. It is the way of the world. And as they sort of almost speak, the three of them separate, but also seemingly tied into a whole as they pick up the conversation effortlessly.
Well, I suppose that's not unfair.
What exactly is it about us that's so interesting?
It is your uncertainty. Alsafina's eyes shift away as she seems to be distracted by something once more. And Efine Telia comes forward once more. You are ever shifting. Your connection to death is an anomaly.
So you just want to study us?
It is what we would like. Gain information. But what we would like and what we can do are often two separate questions.
If you were to gain information about our situation and you were able to help, what is it that you would want in return?
Benelos is the one to speak. It is not a question if. We are able to help. We would like more information. As you are strange. What we ask is a retrieval of sorts. A figure has been lost to us, and we would like to see him returned.
Another watcher?
Not another watcher, but one whose bargain is unfulfilled.
Mm.
Could you tell us more about this unfulfilled thing?
You need not worry of what has already happened. And then Phinelos, he carved his path, but he refuses to walk it. We ask that you bring him back to walk such path.
Is this something you want done before?
It will, as Alsafina begins, allow us to discern the specifics that we've not yet observed in your case. Complete this task. Return this lost figure to our domain. And we will be able to assist. Find your struggles. Tether your souls to light, to shadow, or to some dull, drab plane of existence that interests us very little.
But that means you could easily change anything on us.
And risk you running off like this other figure.
Let's say that you know what, it's not worth my time. I think some things are better just left unsaid.
Just because they are unsaid does not mean they are not known.
Well, if you say that, then that changes things. Then you know that what you described is basically a changing contract depending on our performance of returning this person to you. So if we do anything that you don't like, you could easily take away our one way of being of getting better.
What do you fear that you will do that will cause your future, while shifting, is woven? I've seen your every tragedy. Those that have, those that are, and those that will be. For you is, they look at Z. For you, turn to Cecil. For you, Bracken.
Yep.
You, Avi. And all the others. But not all are so interesting. Your efforts here will help bring, again, once lost and balance restored. Our bargain is for the return of this figure.
Who is this figure?
His name is Varro Ridley. And we have an area of his location. But our bargain only exists in the fact that we ask for his return. And in his return, whether it is his full body or his soul, we will be able to help you. We do not ask for anything else of your services. Should you wish to do something else, of course.
Yeah, question. Does the body and the soul have to be attached?
No. All we require is the soul.
Oh, so alive. Quote unquote.
Well, if you
Dead or alive.
bring us the soul and no body, we can work with that. Not quite the other way around.
Not sure how good we
Yeah.
are at soul extracting.
Well, we're really good at soul extracting. We're just not good at holding on to
There it is.
them. Now, it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong here, that this person doesn't want to come back because you're giving us the option of that they have to come back alive or their soul has to come back in one piece, which means that if they run, you expect us to steal their soul and bring it to you. Is that correct?
If he runs and you are unable to retrieve, well, you will find yourselves in a predicament.
So he is gonna run. That's what you say.
And that's what I was pointing out, was if anything goes wrong or we make a mistake, our one chance of having our ailments removed is gone. And who knows, we may even die because of it. If we don't complete this.
You. As Alsafina speaks. There is often only a single result, framed as many others. That is the way of destiny.
Could one singular person maybe become more attuned, let's just say, to capturing the soul?
Yfain Natalia smiles. There's always a possibility of some such. But be wary. Binding souls too closely blurs the line of one and the other to the point where they are the same.
I would like to volunteer myself to learn the ways of binding souls.
Well, then you should find a teacher. We are observers, archivists. We are no mentor.
Who can I go to?
That is a question for yourself. Who would you trust to show you how to use the purest expression of another person and to tie them so closely to yourself, or to another person? To take one entity and create a new.
Is Lady Araxibus in the room?
Lady Araxibus is present. She has made her introduction.
Cool. I look to Lady Araxibus.
As you turn your attention over to Lady Araxibus, her eyes are full of a rapt attention as she is watching the watchers. Her attention doesn't seem to waver unless you try and catch her attention some other way.
I turn back to the watcher I was speaking to. Lady Araxibus would be the one person I trust to teach me these things.
Now then, you should see if she is capable as a teacher. But that is no bearing on our bargain. Not truly. the means and manner of how you return Varro to us. So long as he returns and stays. That is all we ask.
You have a timeline in which we need to get this done, or
I believe the timeline is on your end.
that's fair. I was just asking. Well, where can we find this person?
He has been discovered at the shuttered repository. We are unable to venture from our domain. And not yet have we found anyone capable of tracking Varro within the network of tunnels and libraries. If anyone would like to roll a history or arcana check here. Cecil, Avi, Brecken. You have only heard myths around the existence of the Shadowed Repository. It's nothing more than a legend. A tall tale of seducing those overly curious seekers of knowledge and lost civilizations. However, Z, you know it to be a little more than myth and legend. The Shadowed Repository is said to be one of the oldest regions of all of Velinara, a veritable relic from the ages of creation, predating even the gods. It houses countless disorienting corridors, filled with tomes and volumes recorded from the knowledge of souls passing from the world.
I relay that information to the rest of the group. Don't you see? So much of what we thought wasn't real is... I can't even describe this.
Well, we know where he is. Just need to figure out how to get there and how to get him back.
Something tells me he's not going to want to come with us. So.
Well, maybe not peacefully.
What do you guys think and talk of Varro Ridley? Can I get a history check?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Wow.
So, Cecil and Avi, the name sounded familiar, but the more you think about it, the more it comes to mind. you know that Varro is a famed male Azran wizard long ago who ventured into Vale de Umbra and never returned. He was a well-known scholar and archaeologist from several hundred years ago, and many of his discoveries and writings are still prominent in today.
You know, I think my sister has some books by this guy.
I do too. Not really something that my sisters found interesting. I did.
Well, I definitely didn't, but maybe you'd like my sister. You seem to have something in common.
Well, she sounded nice when I talked
That
to
one
her.
did, not the other one so much. Anyway,
Okay.
Lore drop? What?
In this campaign?
I knew he had
That's
more than one sibling.
I couldn't remember if the others talked about it or not. Or if the others were talked about or not. I knew that one was mentioned because of a certain episode.
We don't talk about that.
could it be the same? Or is it just a coincidence?
Are you asking this to the Watchers?
No, I was asking Avi, but now I'll direct it to the Watchers.
It is the same. He consulted us. Sought our aid. He joined us for a time. But he betrayed us. Stole something. He was punished. And escaped that punishment to where we now ask you to retrieve him.
Oh, that just ain't right.
You said he stole something?
He did. But as
Anything we need to be on the lookout for?
as we said before, what has happened is no worry. What will happen is you can say.
Well, where I stand, I'm willing to at least try.
Yeah, we've come this far.
See, Bracken? Do you agree to this bargain of finding Varro in return for having your soul's binded to a plane?
In return for?
So,
boy.
your goal is to bind your souls so that the fluctuations don't kill you.
Got it. Okay. Yes.
Finding Varro is what they're asking for
In return.
as a payment. And then as soon as they have it, they will provide the service you are looking for.
Yes, I understand.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
I don't see why not.
I trust what the dirty work they're asking, but I'll do it all the same.
As either Bracken mutters this or thinks this, And as you each, at least the four of you, agree, Alsafina turns facing Bracken. Having seen your struggles, having known your fates, and knowing your distrust, in a show of good faith, before you depart on your furthered journey, we will allow you this. You may tether your souls to our domain. You may use it as an anchor.
That's very kind of you. Isn't it?
Yes, very, very kind, yes.
Roll for me, if you all will, Arcana or Insight. Okay, you all come to this kind of understanding and realization. With the bizarre nature and structure of the repository within, since it speaks of the passing in the between, likely the ethereal realm, a connection such as what is being offered will be crucial before returning to Vale to Umbra.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, no, that's super helpful.
So, as this offer is made, as a bargain is accepted, we'll find out what happens next after our next ad break. So, stick tight with us. We'll be right back to continue our story. Please let the ads run. They are super helpful. We'll see you all very soon. All right, we are back. As we return, you have made a bargain. And in return, bit of a show of goodwill. You've been offered an opportunity, a temporary anchor in binding your souls to the domain, the Watchers.
You know, as they say that, or as we're here, I hear it described that way, I'm immediately starting to think this was a bad decision. But Bracken will keep that to himself.
Penelos, the Goliath with the ever-shifting eyes. Take some time. Breathe the air here. Drink of its waters, eat. Bind yourself. Rest if needed. And when you are ready, we will open a way for you to find the repository.
And when you say open a way, does that mean like some sort of portal or gateway?
Precisely.
It does sound convenient.
Well, we did travel almost a full day. Maybe it'd be smart to take a rest.
Going into the unknown at full strength makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not against that.
Definitely don't want to be fighting no other shadow monsters. At least not already hurt. As you come to this sort of decision of rest, you all hear those voices again, those whisperings of song, as they seem to perhaps guide you. They guide you away from the sanctum where the watchers sit, where they wait, where they observe. And you are led to a grove. The ruins again create the outline, and you can see the echoes of the once mighty keep, brought low by time. And the strange nature of plant life here in Vale de Umbra, where it is both dead and alive. Bear fruit in this grove, both figuratively and literally. You see that it is almost lush, but in colors that are muted, remind you of decay. But the grass is soft, the moss plush, full leaves on the trees. What do you do?
We should get settled, yeah.
We'll go about figuring out how to set up a camp.
What was that, Bracken?
Bracken's gonna go about figuring out setting up a ham.
Okay. Hammock was what I didn't hear.
Ham.
Yeah, no, I heard game, and I was like, what?
Game of dice. He's playing the Watchers.
So Bracken goes about his normal routine, setting up a hammock.
I'm looking for a spot under a tree. Give some kind of semblance of sleeping outside under a normal sky.
Are there enough sources of light from anywhere that we can see the ceiling of this cavern?
Yeah.
Or just blackness?
No, so the whole thing about the Witchmuck Isle, is that there is this strange ambient light in the fog, which is still present, but it's not as thick as it was before you had made it to the Watchers. It's just kind of along the edges. Um, but no, you have a full visual range, uh, because of this strange light. You just don't know where the sources are. But yeah, you could see the top of the cavern. It's almost like looking up at the sky.
Yeah, Cecil would probably be focusing a lot on that and just notice the absence of any moon, even Velda Umbra's.
You would see drops and rivulets of water that, with the strange lights of this isle, almost reflect into a semblance of stars. Avi,
Mm-hmm.
the tree that you are under, as you look up, if you pretend for a moment that your eyesight is not as good as it is, or that it's darker here than it is, it's almost like being out at night. The darkness, the grays, the lack of color. But as you're peering up into the branches, you would notice this is one of the fruit trees of this grove. There are these. It's almost like a deep red of a garnet or a ruby.
Mm.
So deep that it almost is black. But they look like oranges. So they just kind of hang there, nestled in amongst the branches.
Well, they told us to, eat and drink, so I'll get up and reach for one and pull it down.
It's firm. Like it is perfectly ripe. And much like any other orange, you're able to break the rind and peel it away. It reveals the pulp, the actual flesh of the fruit underneath.
She's thinking in her head, this looks delicious. If it tastes bad, I'm gonna be so upset. And she'll start eating it.
For a moment, you expect that bright, crisp citrus. Because it looks like an orange. It peels itself like an orange. But the flavor is different. It's richer. It doesn't have that sort of bright acidity to it, but it is deep. And it is filled with this delectable juice. It is bursting with this flavor. And it's oddly refreshing. Very much think a mix of black cherry and watermelon.
She'll finish that one and reach up and grab a few more.
I would say the rest of you are able to see where Avi is harvesting.
Are those safe to eat, Avi? Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're really good too.
Can I get a persuasion check, please?
Persuasion.
That's a 20.
Oh yeah, Cecil's gonna put a hand up, just like
You
wait for her
want-
to toss her
you
one.
want- Yeah, I'll toss him one.
Right. Cecil has tossed one of these almost oranges.
He's gonna go for it.
Okay. Much the same. It opens like an orange, but it's this deep red color. The pulp is again super filled with juice and very deep flavor. Not bright citrusy, but more again that watermelon, black cherry type taste.
Oh yeah, these are really good.
I told you.
Oh, if you guys are getting in on that, I would like one.
I'll throw one over.
Natriana will pick it out.
Is there any left?
There's a full
guess
tree.
I'm ready to try.
See, there's a tray full of them. Come and get one. You want me to throw it? I'll grab it. You want me to throw it?
Sure.
Just tossing fruit.
Just whipping them in people's heads.
Yeah.
Natriana doesn't even ask. She'll go up to the tree beside Avi and grab one and just throw it at Bracken.
Bracken is unaware in his hammock, and he just gets beamed in the side of the head with one of these fruits, and it falls out of his hammock.
You gotta eat.
I'm making a big breakfast in the morning. Everybody should be ready for that.
Eat that now.
It's called a bonding exercise or something like that.
Bracken will
Team building.
reluctantly eat the fruit.
So, as each of you eat the fruit, either very willingly or reluctantly, even your Axibase, unsure of how she got the fruit, because none of you remember throwing one to her. She doesn't seem the climbing type, but she has one as well, and is eating it. What comes to each of your minds as you settle into this grove for your rest?
Perception, please.
I think Z is just gonna do what they normally do, which is take off their really worn out, thick cloak, fold it up to where they can sleep on it, and set it up.
Did this orange have seeds?
Very little, but yeah, there were a few.
Cool. Cecil's gonna pocket those. He's unbeknownst to maybe some people, he knows his fruit. Not so much tree fruit because gnome, but more bush fruit. But you think he might have something here.
Really?
Cheers him up a little bit.
I need a Cecil as a farmer epilogue.
Listen,
It's
the
just
mummy wraps. It's coming. We can make a salsa out of these.
oh yeah, it's like it's like by day, Cecil having this nice idyllic farm, and it's very simple, and then by night, mummy wraps, and it's like all like partying. It's great. We love it. Any thoughts for the rest of you that come to your mind? Any actions that you take?
As she's now sitting back down under this tree. I was real glad that when she woke up this morning, she decided that, or I mean, maybe it wasn't when she woke up that morning. Maybe it was just after everything that happened. That she was gonna pretend like it didn't happen for a while. Because it turned into a kind of okay day after everything bad. She's also thinking about where she'd rather be. But that's not here nor there.
Well, whether there is any sort of deviation or a really eventually you each succumb to your own rest. Sleep. Maybe not for the entirety of the night. Just enough. You all gain the benefits of a long rest.
Hell yeah.
Did you say of a whore?
Of a
A
full
whole rest.
I said full first, and then I was like, that's not how it works. It's a long rest. You always get a full rest. It's just either long or short. And I stopped myself, after I had already said full. So, that's what happened there. But yeah, no, you gain the benefits of a long rest. And Bracken.
Yeah.
What does breakfast look like?
Well, breakfast looks like pretty good. Breakfast is looking pretty good.
Hell yeah.
He took some of that fruit and he's baked it down into like a fresh syrup jam. And he's somehow scrounged some stuff together to make some pancakes. Probably from the help of the Watchers, since they seem pretty powerful. He probably went and nagged them for some ingredients, see what he could get, and off to a good start.
So you all awake to pancakes. And a syrup, it seems made of the fruit. As you see, a lot of the rinds have been sort of next to where Bracken is cooking.
Where'd you learn how to do this, Bracken?
Hey, man, I've been getting some practice in. What can I say?
This. I'm speechless, Bracken.
Well, maybe if you guys didn't complain about my breakfasts all the time and actually tried them.
Whoa, hang on.
Who complains about your breakfast? I don't.
Cecil does.
I
Why
sit
would I
and I eat
complain
it.
about it if I didn't try it? Of course
I
I've tried
sit-
it.
I eat your breakfast every time you make it.
I know you do. I'm not mad at you.
I don't think I've
I
ever.
bet it's he gets this attitude from Lorcan,
Lorcan
Well.
doesn't have an attitude.
About my
Yeah,
breakfast.
Lorcan's cool.
Oh, wait, who's this guy named Lorcan?
You ain't met Lorcan yet.
I mean, there's a lot of you guys that I saw for like maybe a few minutes and that big
He's the half
breakfast.
orc.
Oh, him? Yeah, he's kind of
Mm.
funny. I don't know him all that well, but he had great
Oh, he's
jokes.
wonderful. He's
Yeah.
wonderful. He just won't do the dishes.
Lorcan the half orcan.
It's very supportive. Super into bongos.
Except he doesn't do the dishes.
Well,
Hey, Bracken,
Yeah.
just because you got upset the other time, I just want to let you know these are really good pancakes.
Yeah, I bet. All my food's awesome. You just gotta give it a chance.
You're right.
If I could chew it, I'd give it a chance.
The secret is confidence. confidence in the kitchen.
Ah. You see, Z kind of is like, they're almost shoving the food in, like, just shoveling it in. They're eating like they haven't eaten in, like, several days, maybe, even though it probably hasn't been that long. It's probably been, like, 2. And through a stuffed mouse, you just hear, "This is the best thing yet!"
Well, I'm glad everyone's enjoying.
Is there anything else you do this morning before you return to the Watchers? If not, then breakfast is completed. Camp is cleaned up. And you return to the Watchers. Effain Talia, Venelos, and Alsafina. I saw it and I was like, how do I read that again? Oh, it's been a day. You rested. And your marks feel... they're not in pain. They don't seem to have that strain and that fluctuation. They seem... normal. You are ready. And because you are ready, because you are anchored, rested, the Watchers, all 3 of them, create a portal. And as the portal opens, as you each know you must step inside, we'll find out what lies on the other side of the portal in next week's episode. So, thank you to our players. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you to our viewers for viewing. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I will see you guys in our next session. We will continue the story in our next Burning Veil session a week from now. And if you want to catch more of us, join us at our table. You can check out our website, wildewitch.com. You can join our Discord, keep up to date with all of our announcements, jump in a game, and as always, may the ever-burning light guide your steps. Laters.